Hey guys, it's Allie here from Louisiana USSSA Swinging for the Fences. Today we're in Broussard, Louisiana at the LA Kings practice. Let's check them out.
And welcome to Louisiana USSSA podcast, our second edition. I'm Todd Black. I am joined by USSSA directors Lane Pitre.
Hey, guys.
As well as Ross Pitre.
Excited to be here.
Well, and we're going to have a third edition, another Pitre. That's going to be a family affair, and I'll go ahead and say that she's probably the better looking of the three of you, and then, of course, your wife's second, and then you two fall in place there.
We are way behind.
So this past weekend, we saw the weather come into play a little bit, but you were able to deal with it somewhat at the Dick's Sporting Goods Wood Bat Tournament.
Yeah, yesterday, Sunday was a tough day for weather. We had some games pushed back and stuff. We were able to work through it, and those are always difficult times, but everybody seemed to have a good time in the end. So
sometimes when you get these type tournaments, there's a lot of communication, Ross, that has to go on between the coaches, the fans, and the parents. Explain that process just a little bit real quick.
Well, the main thing is, everyone's at the park. They see the weather conditions. So from my end, as a site director, a baseball director, just keeping everyone up to date. Every time there's a weather delay, 30 minutes. And just being upfront about it. Don't try to hide that it's raining or anything. And people are generally on the same page as everyone. And
y'all do anything you can to get those games in, to get those kids on the field.
Absolutely.
That's our number one purpose, is to get games in to make sure everybody gets some baseball.
Well, I think we have some highlights from this week's Dick's Sporting Goods Wood Bat Tournament. Ross, you want to tell us a little bit about it while we take a look at it?
Yeah, so in Baton Rouge, we had our wood bat tournament this weekend. Every single player in Baton Rouge swung a wood bat, which is me personally, I love any other bat, so it was a cool experience. So here we have Adam Bonin of the Coastal Cannons getting a little base knock, a little RBI. It was great to be out there hearing those wood bats.
I was out there all weekend, and it's a little bit different sound. You don't hear that ting ting all the time. It's more of a thud,
Oh, it's more real baseball.
Absolutely, and that's the whole idea, I would assume, in this tournament, is to get the kids a different feel of what it's like to hit with the wood bat.
Yeah, a little nostalgia. And it also shows how true baseball, how a hit is a hit with a wood bat. You have to earn all your hits. You have to earn, everything that goes with it. All your runs are earned.
Well, let's see. That's looking at last week. What do we have on tap, Lane, for this week's show?
Let's see. We have our interview this week. Our team spotlight was on the Louisiana Kings from Lafayette, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. They are an outstanding organization. Kent Gable does a great job. They're teaching really quality baseball. They've got, I think they've been in an organization for 4 years? And they've already got state championship and a World Series championship under their belt. So it's pretty exciting for those guys.
They've grown it from the ground up. It's really cool. They started with one team. He said they didn't win a game. And now they're, a big organization. It's cool to see.
Well, Coach Gable being a former high school coach, and that's what USSSA and youth sports needs a lot of, is more people that are in the game for the right reasons, and that's to help the kids. Let's take a look at the video and your interview with Coach Kent Gable.
Hey everyone, we're out here with the Louisiana Kings in Broussard, Louisiana, here at a practice. We're with Coach and owner of the Louisiana Kings, Kent Gable. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you, man.
Welcome
to you guys out here.
Welcome to the podcast. First off, we want to get to know you a little bit and how you run your organization. So give us a little bit of background on the Kings.
Okay. Yeah, I started the Kings 4 years ago. We started with one team. First year wasn't very good. We went 0-21 as a bunch of 7U. It was 7U. But we had several 6U kids that have stuck with us and have remained with the program. Following year, came back 7U again and had a really good year. The next year we started with one. The second year we had 3 teams, and then now we're up to 8 teams. Now we have a team at 7, 8. We have 2 at 9U, 10U, 11U, 12U, and a 14U. 6 out of the 8 teams are AAA. Very proud of that. We had a lot of success this year, and great coaches all the way across the board. great parents, and great kids. Have fun.
Man, seems like you've grown this thing from nothing. That's really cool to see a USSSA team grow like that and have that much success. First of all, tell us a little bit about how successful the program has been. Y'all got a little bit of accolades to go with y'all's name now.
Yes, sir. We've been blessed. Again, the first thing we did second year is we kind of rebranded. We are all branded by Adidas. All of our kids wear Adidas, custom Adidas uniforms. That was one of the big things we did. We changed the logo, changed the colors from year 1 to year 2. Really start to focus on the brand that we put on the field. And then also, again, we just started to focus on the fundamentals, quality, putting a good product out there. And again, been blessed to have some great coaches to really help, because, I can't do it all by myself. Obviously, I coach this team, our 9U white team, but we have a bunch of good coaches that do a great job at each level and really help out developing the kids and help build the program.
It takes a village. It really does, This is a little bit of behind the scenes of, what goes into making a great program. It takes coaches, great players, great parents.
Definitely.
We love having the Kings at our park, man.
That's awesome.
So we're here at practice here in Broussard, Louisiana. We're excited for practice, man. Tell us what we're going to see today.
First thing we're gonna do is probably we've been warming up right now and stretching, and then we'll take a little in and out with each team. We have our 9U white team here, and then we have our 10U team here. These are two of our fun teams. Last year, this 9U team they won the AAA World Series in Sulphur, and then our 9U team last year won the state championship here at Broussard Park. Two of our fun teams, and we have a lot of good ones, but these are two of our fun ones, and these are two teams that have been with us since this 10U team has been with us since year 2, this group of kids, and then a lot of these kids have been with us since the beginning as well. So, and then we're going to get together and do a little inter-squad scrimmage, just a little, maybe a couple innings, and we played this past weekend and we played next, so we can't do something too long because we got to save some of our pitchers' arms, but we're gonna scrimmage a little bit today, get a little live work in, and then that's about it, man.
We're looking forward to a great practice. Thank you. That's Coach Kent Gable.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys coming out.
I can't stress enough. He says you mentioned it takes a village, and the parents are such an integral part of any aspect of youth sports. And it's hard to understand baseball than it is basketball and baseball because there's so much failure. Talk about a little bit of the expectations of parents and failure with their kids.
Well, parents are, every parent their expectations could be out the roof. So, it's difficult for a parent in baseball to watch their kid because they're in front of everybody. They're right there. Everybody's looking. There's no helmet. There's nothing to disguise them. So, you got a stress that goes with that. He's like, oh, come on, Johnny, got to get a hit. And if he doesn't get a hit, then the parent kind of, I guess, looks at it as a, not as a bad thing, but it's, I guess, disappointing for a parent. But baseball's built on failure.
And what I was going to ask was Ross, because you just almost got finished playing not long ago. As a player, how did you deal with failure?
I always had a positive attitude towards it, even when you strike out or when you might pop out to the infielder.
Now that didn't come overnight.
It doesn't happen. I went through the phase where I'd get upset and throw my helmet a little bit, make a scene. But luckily, I had a pretty good head coach who straightened me out. But it's a trickle down effect. The coaches and parents, all that feeds into how the players act on the field.
Well, you hear a lot of coaches say "flush it,"
right?
And that's a big term that means when a player fails at something or is not 100% successful, to move that out the way and move on to the next one.
Well, baseball is
right
interesting in the aspect of it may not be your day at the plate, but that doesn't mean it won't be your day in the field, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
So it's always important to know your role on that particular day, because from time to time that could be different based on how you're playing, the pitcher you're facing, and the team you're facing. Speaking of players, you had the opportunity to talk to the LA Kings, their players. Let's take a look at that video, and I'm sure this is going to be quite interesting.
Hey, everyone. We're here with the Kings, 9 and 10s. We're looking forward to a great practice today. We got a little intra-squad on deck. But first, this is our team spotlight. We want to know who the Kings are, so y'all give us a little bit about yourselves.
Ace 34. I'm Ethan 2. Bryce 1. Zaid 7. Mason 19. Cohen 22. Carson 24. Tucker 12. Pierce 27. Parker number 3. Aiden 55.
Did I get everyone? Good to meet y'all, man. Let's meet the 10s.
All right, we'll start down here.
Jackson 11. Reese 4. Sebastian 6. Ethan 1. Brock 32. Parker 5. Braylon 3. Jacob 7. Porter 00. Kaylor 2.
All right, it's been a great season so far. We always love seeing the Kings baseball tournaments. All right, what is y'all's favorite memory from the season so far? A few of y'all.
Whenever I had a double play last tournament,
Awesome.
the comebacks that we have to win our tournament that we had a couple weeks ago.
I like that one.
Awesome. Anyone else? No? All right, let's get back with Ross.
All right, guys, we all have our inspirations, right? For me, I had a poster of Pedro Martinez above my bed growing up. So we want to know, who is y'all's inspiration? Who's y'all's favorite baseball player? Anyone?
Bryce Harper.
Harper, all right.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah, all right.
Ken Griffey.
Okay, I like that one.
Alex Bregman. George Springer.
Springer, I like that. Some Astros. Who y'all got?
Altuve.
Yeah, I like that. What's up, dude?
Chris Bryan.
All right, anyone else? Let's go.
Danny Fourquois.
Who was that?
Danny Fourquois.
All right.
Altuve.
Hey, I heard a lot of Astros. We got some hometown heroes, huh? All right, turn it over to Allie. We got one more thing for y'all.
All right, to wrap this up, we're going to ask a question to both of you guys. So I want you to imagine this. So it's the World Series, right? Championship game. You're up to bat. Boom. You hit a home run to win the game. Yeah. Let's see your championship celebration dance.
Give us your best one. Got any flosses?
I love it.
Hey, y'all better stay on the baseball field and off the dance floor. All right, hey, we want to thank the LA Kings and Coach Gable for letting us come out here. We'll see y'all at the next park, man. Thank y'all.
The Worm.
That was quite a dance floor right there.
I bet it is. You know, St. Julian's a beautiful park. It's a new facility that if somebody hadn't had the opportunity to play there or visit there, they really need to do so. It's located in Broussard, correct?
Right, that's correct.
And that's one of your facilities along with Youngsville, two great facilities over there south of Lafayette.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of fun hosting tournaments there for sure.
And especially if it rains, it makes things a little bit easier on you guys.
A little easier, yeah. Just a little bit. But you know, something about the Kings, you know, we saw the kids cutting up and stuff like that, you know, in the video. But when they were at practice, they were really serious, and you know, they were doing their in and outs, they were doing their warm ups, and they really had a set structure for their practice, which was really impressive. How even the nine-year-olds were, you know, doing ins and outs like you see them in high school and college. It
Very
was
well
really,
coached.
Yeah, really well coached.
It's a good balance, and that's a sign of a good coach, because you have to allow kids to have their fun. I mean, They're 9 years old. They're 8 years old. He mentioned they started at 7. And you got to have a balance of fun, but you also have to be able to get your fundamentals in and get the right thing taught. And it seems like their program's doing a good job.
Absolutely. It was really, really cool to see.
You know, one of the segments we had last week that I really enjoyed was our segment with Coach Keith Menard. Keith is the Louisiana USSSA umpire assigner. And I think that it's probably one of the more difficult jobs. Now, y'all's job is difficult, but he's out there assigning the umpires to a lot of different games. Coach Menard, you with us?
Yes, sir. Glad to be with y'all again this week.
We're glad to have you.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, good morning, guys.
You know, I was watching the LSU game last night, and there were a couple of instances where hit by pitch was reviewed. And so it's not always as cut and dry as you may think, Lane.
It's absolutely. They can go. You got hit by pitch. You can be swinging dead ball. You know, there's so many aspects of the hit by pitch that people doesn't fully understand.
So, out of the very basic, Coach Menard, what is it that coaches, parents, and kids need to understand about the hit by pitch rule?
Well, you know, I think you see this a lot. We get this a ton, where a kid will check swing and get hit in the hand, he does not swing the bat, he gets hit in his hand, and we get the hands are part of the bat, that should be a hit or a foul ball. And the hands are never part of the bat. And if he did not swing the bat and it hit his hands, it would become a dead ball. Batter would take his base at that time. If he swings the bat and it's a full swing and gets hit by a pitch, now you have a dead ball strike. So, you do see that a little bit. We get a lot of the hit on the hands, and they don't want them, to get an awarded base. They want them to sit there because the hands are part of the bat. So we do get that quite a bit.
So the hands are not part of the bat, correct?
No, sir, have never been.
So when you buy a bat,
yeah, that's our favorite line. When you put that, it's just, when you bought that bat, with the hands attached to it, and they go, well, no. Okay, well then, so the hands are not part of the bat, and I know that's a simple analogy, but it helps them to try to see that the hands are never part of the bat.
I know we joke about that line a lot, but it is true because that's how a good explanation to people is, did you buy the bat, were the hands there?
Right.
Coach Menard, what about
yes,
if a player's attempt to either get away from a pitch or lean into a pitch? How is that interpreted?
Okay, well, that's all umpire judgment at that point. I really believe if the ball is pitched in the batter's box at him, he's going to be awarded first base. I don't think they have to make a big attempt to get out the way of the ball. One thing you are seeing more and more is a crowded plate and kids reaching that front elbow over the plate and getting hit. If they do that, if they reach that front elbow over the plate, they can be made to stay in the batter's box. And then a ball or a strike awarded depending upon where the pitch was.
Well,
so,
Coach,
a perfect example, I was watching LSU girls softball the other day, and that happened. The girl reached over the plate, got hit on the forearm. I believe it was in that game, but it was a college softball game, and girl leaned that elbow over the plate, got hit, and was made to stay there. And it was a ball because the ball was high. So that can happen, and that would be in the umpire's judgment.
Let's say a player squares to bunt, does not offer on the pitch, but gets hit on the hands, and the ball ends up in fair territory.
If he did not offer at the ball at all, if he just stood there and got hit on his hands, and again, that goes back to hit by pitch, and he would be awarded first base. They did change that rule that just because you square around the bats out there, that does not automatically say that you've attempted to bunt the baseball. You must actually attempt to hit the baseball with the bat.
So you can square up the bunt and just leave the bat still, and it's not an offering.
That's correct.
But it might make it a more difficult call for the umpire. So to make it for a coaching aspect, you'd want to try to teach them to pull it because it helps the umpire, right?
Right.
No doubt. And look, it all boils down at that point to umpire judgment. Did they move the bat at the ball? Did they not move the bat? It's a lot of things going on in that scenario. And like Todd said, it does make it more difficult on the umpire at that point.
Coach,
it's right.
You mentioned they just changed the rule. How many rules throughout each year? Because we know it happens in all sports and all levels. How many rules a year get modified, do you believe?
Well, we use Major League Baseball rules, and then U-Trip has their exceptions. And, Major League Baseball is not real quick to make a lot of changes to their rule book. So, we don't see a ton of changes in the Major League Baseball rule book. But in the U-Trip rule book, there are some changes year by year. And I know down the road we're probably going to discuss this, Tom, but like one of the things that U-Trip added this year was the ability to use a DH. We never had that ability before until this year. So, U-Trip is always looking at rules and looking at things to, make the game better and allow more kids to play.
Well, Coach, man, we always appreciate your input and the obvious trying to clarify things for, everybody. And once again, as I mentioned last week, the more things are clarified, hopefully the more smoother. If that's not a word, but I'm going to use it. The more smooth the tournaments will run.
No doubt. And, the big thing is our umpires are, out there trying to do the best job that they can. They are human beings, and they are, and with all of this, they still are umpiring youth baseball. And, we do our best to try to get them in the right spot and do the right things. But, unfortunately, we do have some rule things that come up, and we do our best to try to solve those problems.
And they are human, and no one's perfect, except for
That's
me
correct.
and you.
Yes, sir. I don't know. Hey, well, look, if you ever go to a game on Friday night, I'm way far from perfect. So I'm used to that, so it's all good.
Hey, man, we appreciate your time as always.
Not a problem. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Great guy.
I
Knows his stuff.
love working with Keith every week.
So moving forward, what do we got on tap this week for people to go around and check out some Governors games going on? Where can people catch some baseball?
We're full across the state again. We got in Lake Charles our Governors games AAA weekend. That's going to be at the Power Center at Lake Street Sports Complex in Ponderosa Park. In Lafayette, the Acadiana Memorial Classic at St. Julian and Erath Park Quality Park. In New Orleans, we have the Memorial Day Classic at Val Reese. In Monroe, Remember the Fallen at the ILM Intramural Complex. And in Baton Rouge, we have the Global Sports Governors games at Zachary and Oak Villa. It's a full weekend.
Another great weekend of baseball.
Got it right around the corner. It's coming up quick, and your state tournaments are a couple of weeks away, and there's plenty of room and plenty of opportunity for teams to get in there and register.
Y'all sign up for state, man. It's a fun weekend. It's my personal favorite weekend of the whole year, so you're going to want to be a part of that action.
So any takeaways from this past week's games? Anything that stood out to you? Putting you on the spot a little bit.
I thought the wood bat was outstanding. A lot of kids were having a lot of fun swinging it. And it was, it's something we try to do once a year and really bring some nostalgia to the game.
I thought everyone handled the rain very well. In Baton Rouge, Sunday ended up being a wash for my park personally, but Lafayette, I heard, did a phenomenal job dealing with it and getting all the games in. It was a little bit of a late Sunday night, but, we got the games in, and I just want to thank everyone for being cooperative with that.
Look, heads up, don't let your sister keep showing you up.
Yeah, she did awesome this week.
She did do good. She did very good. It was a pleasure having her on the show. And for Ross Pitre, Lane Pitre, and Allie Pitre, we'd like to thank Kent Gable, as well as Coach Keith Menard for joining us for Louisiana USSSA Swinging for the Fences podcast. I'm Todd Black saying so long, everybody.